Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Market Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Anneke Jong, Head of Strategy and Operations with Banking as a Service at Stripe. Anneke, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks so much for having me.
Tell us about Stripe's Banking as a Service APIs and the solutions that they look to provide.
Yeah, sure. And most folks know Stripe for payments, but increasingly we're a trusted partner for a full suite of embedded financial services. We have a few products in market, issuing, capital, and treasury. Lets any business from a fintech startup to an established platform embed financial services directly into the products that they're already building. So it allows their customers to hold funds, pay bills, manage cash flows, access funding, all without leaving the products that they're already knowing and trusting.
And let's talk about financial inclusion for a moment here. There's so much work to do to address that and bring solutions to more diverse audiences. What is Stripe doing for its part?
Oh, thank you for asking. I don't think we can talk about financial inclusion without talking about small businesses. SMBs make up nearly 50% of the GDP. And so that's an area that we've been thinking a lot about. Serving SMBs can be expensive. So large financial institutions are typically focusing on larger businesses. But there's three big trends that we're seeing that are making it more possible to serve SMBs, particularly with financial services. The first one is really digitization. So bringing financial services online means that you can reach SMBs wherever they are. Automation is the second. So SMB loans can be low dollar amounts, but the high underwriting costs and servicing costs sometimes make it not as attractive to serve that audience. Fintechs allowing for more automation make it a lot more feasible to offer those kinds of financial services to SMBs. And then the third, it would really be specialization. So if you think about the SMB landscape, a pizza shop is very different from a YouTube creator, is very different from a small e-commerce store, and they all have really different needs. But the majority of those businesses are actually using industry-specific software platforms today. And so it's those folks who really understand the needs of SMBs, and it's those folks that we want to be working with to bring a broader suite of financial services. So that's really what we've been focused on with our BaaS services is how do you start to deliver money management and card issuance and access to capital directly into the platforms and the products that small businesses are already using.
Yeah, it's so interesting, Anneke, when we think about the fintech environment more holistically, just even a few years back, it seemed to be very plug and play from the technology providers to traditional financial platforms. But it seems to be, especially in the past year or two, as a result of the pandemic, where we really learned the importance of e-commerce and being able to have that omnipresence for all retailers, that really fintech companies are going to all verticals, not just what you would traditionally think of as finance, whether it's payments or banking platforms and so forth. They seem to be powering everything.
Totally. We're really seeing a big diversity of platforms that are coming to us today. Ambrook, for example, it's financial services for farmers. They built money management for farmers with a single engineer using Stripe's BaaS platforms. And those are the same APIs that are powering Shopify Balance, for example. So Shopify is a very well-known player in the space, but they're now offering business accounts, spending cards, and rewards to over 1 million small businesses. So you really see that broad diversity of the ways that you can start bringing these services to market.
Yeah, it's really incredible to me that these newer companies such as yours, like Stripe, have really made such strides in not only just financial inclusion, but diversity across the board, and really transformed finance compared to institutions that have been around for hundreds of years. Just within the past decade, we've seen such a massive shift, and that to me is pretty exciting.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And I think the big takeaway for us is that there's so much still to do on this path towards including everybody in the new financial economy. We certainly don't have all the answers at Stripe, but our big focus is how do we provide really flexible and powerful tools to all of the innovators out there. We really believe in startups and entrepreneurs to bring those types of innovations to market and to know their customers really well. I think that's ultimately the key for any of these financial or embedded finance spaces is really go in, talk to your customers, understand what their needs are. Specifically for SMBs, that's an area where there's so much opportunity for innovation. And we're trying to make sure that we're equipping folks who are trying to bring those innovations to market.
All right, Anneke, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.